on. Mom. Yeah. It's kind of hard to describe my mother in one word because of the greatness that she has. I mean, she's a very powerful, strong black Zulu woman who raised me on Christian doctrines, and really she taught me most of the things that I know today, and I am this man today because of her. And often I aspire to be like her. And memories of my mother are those of when, like, my mother's she's a very she shares a lot and stuff. You know, it's kind of strange, you know, that I'm lost for words today. But one thing I can say about my mother is that she's a very patient woman, and she's a very kind and concerned person. And one thing she taught me is to never give up on people. And I'd often find her sacrificing so much for people she believe in you. And it showed how kind of person that she was. When someone would walk into the home and saying that they're hungry, should sacrifice a plate for them. She sacrificed the last rand she had for another. So she taught me to never give up on people and to forever be concerned about people. And especially because of her life story, how she grew up. She had to leave school at a very young age to take care of her siblings. I mean, the sacrifices that my mother has made have challenged me to forever grow into the man that she'll be proud of. And I love her. I don't tell her enough, but I do. She has a very big place in my heart. So I'm sad that we have to do this only on Mother's Day, and I hope that we as men will show our women how much we love them on a daily basis, that we value them. Yeah.
Should I go? Like Sechaba said, I was raised by a powerful black woman. Not just any black woman, a strong woman. A woman that understood the value of education, even though she didn't go to school. A woman that understood the hardships of taking care of 3 boys, and she was only one, without the assistance of men. A woman who nurtured and ushered in wisdom and took a place of a man where there was the absence of a father. I was raised by a philosopher. And I was raised by a scientist.
Yeah.
I was raised by a domestic worker. I was raised by a contractor. I was raised by every aspect of life. In fact, I was raised by nature. I was taught at a very young age that I should not blame where I come from. Maybe I should blame where I'm going. I was taught from a very young age that in the society that we live in, we need to hold each other, love each other, and I was loved. And perhaps it's one of the difficult things in our society to show love, but I feel like I was shown love. When I didn't want to go to school, I was always beaten up. That was love. You know, and maybe we don't say it enough to our women, to our mothers, to the bread and butters, to the ones who always come back at night carrying burdens from work, that we don't love them enough. But this time resembles our love for our women, for our mothers. And we want to say to them, you are powerful, strong black women. You have raised kings. You have raised men who can speak up to the world, who can challenge the world, who can give birth to a new hope, who can vision a new society, who can build a nation. And our job is to show the masses the light, and they will find the light. Mothers will love you.
I think the people that we become, especially the young men that we are today, a lot of credit is not really given to our parents. We always think that we made it through these spaces that we occupy today because of our academic abilities and everything. But then there's something beyond that, and that is the presence of a woman in your life. And I think we must all reach a stage where we don't call our single parents anymore, but then we call them independent mothers. You know, because to call them single parents suggests that they have somehow failed or been misfortunate and whatnot. But then these women are soldiers themselves. You know, they as Max said, they fill in shoes that men have failed to fill in, and they do justice in our lives in the sense that even in the absence of a father, you don't really feel it that much because your mother is just doing everything for you. And then I think we are quite privileged as well to still have them in our lives, and it's our responsibility to make them happy, and it's our responsibility to make them and ensure that they live a very longer life than they are right now, and to give them a better life that obviously they've tried to give us. And yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Ndikhuliswe yintombi yasemabambeni ehlala ngapha eMonti. Kwasesizalweni ngasekhuleni kwam ebesoloko esecam kwam nabanana basendlini esikhusela okwesikhukhukazi, sikhusela amantshontsho waso okukhetsha. Ndikhule kwindlu enothando, naphi na indlu nomama uthando lukhona. Naxeshikweni bendiphuma endleleni ebesoloko esecam kwam endigayida kuzo zonke iingaloko zobomi. Ndilindile ndoda ndiyiyo nje kungenxa yakhe. Ndiyambulela umama uba sebomini bam, andisoze ndilibale. Enkosi Nkitseng.
You see, I was raised by a single parent. I was raised by a single mother. Even though my father was there, but my mother was the CEO of the house. As Max says, that we were raised by nurses, we were raised by teachers. She was even my ATM. She means the world to me because I'm this man today because of her. And Teta Ngomadlami, Teta Ngochamakashantu. She loved school. She didn't finish her matric just to raise me. She had options. She could have aborted me, but she chose to keep me. That I appreciate. She's my pillar of strength. When I think of her, I think of a soldier. When I think of her, I think of love. Because she doesn't only have love, but she is love. She died in 2005, but the love still lives within me. Today, I want to say to every mother that is out there, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Dear mother,